I still feel your spider hands tiptoeing down every rib, making your way to the button of my small boy blue jeans. This was routine. I had just become a body for you to pick and pull at. It took 12 years and you finally leaving the state for me to speak of your doings, to tell someone about you. The first sorrow I ever felt, how I held onto your existence, kept the monster of you close, made sure your hands never found someone else, made sure your lips never fell onto another eggshell body. But now that you've left me in the dust of all your doings, found home somewhere else, found yourself surviving somewhere else. Once I knew you were somewhere else, and I knew that this body was now my own. I had to tell about the things you did in that bedroom and name it for the truth it is. Where to begin when you fear yourself? I'm a cat lover. I'm a procrastinator, and sometimes I can be a high-key diva. And when I really had to start thinking about why I wanted to do this TED Talk, I had to go to the beginning of my life. I had to go from being just a small child for someone to pick and pull at to now, being someone who had to learn to overcome depression and live with bipolar disorder. You are meant for the landfill, a cracked screen of an old television. Channel 6, the news plays, headline, boy found turning Dead Sea red. You relived that moment, a DVR streamed on repeat. Life ends when you finally rip out the power cord. Truth be told, you slashed wrists, bled infernos to find scriptures in the red waters of your temple. Headline, a 25-year-old woman drove off of Pfeffer Street into the Susquehanna. You'll show her how to get the job done. You would have jumped. Swan died with a bag of bricks, bag of mother's hopes and dreams. Television will never know how many Saturday nights in this last year you sat alone. Thought about what you could have done better than slash all 4 limbs, leave body to drip dry like in a slaughterhouse. Television will never know if you're ready to cut the cord or if the socket is just loose. Television will never know how sorry you are for the ruined bed sheets, the incomplete drawings, the dull pencils, for the pale skin that hides scars so well. Blood will have blood, blood will have blood, blood will have blood, repeats the television, so you flip the channel, find the last psalm, break the grounds of your demons, write an ode to suicide, a familiar place, and you finally changing the channel. When I attended Brave New Voices for my first time in 2015 in Atlanta, Georgia, I felt like I had no voice. My life was falling apart. My mother was my rock. She and her I had like a secret language, but she became very mentally ill at the time, and I thought I would never get her back. So I thought I had no voice. I had no person to turn to, so I just wrote poetry, and I wanted to keep it in a secret place. But then I realized that if I keep it in a secret place, my story will never get told. So I ended up going to Brave New Voices in 2015. And there I wrote about poetry that was more not about myself, but more about my community of LGBTQ plus people. And I wanted to make sure that their voices would be heard too. Tyler Clementi, 18, jumped from the George Washington Bridge, drawn in by the Hudson siren love song, spit out of the banks of a muddy bay, victim from start to finish. Matthew Shepard, 21, abducted and dragged into a field, beaten and hung on display for transgressions we'd normally call love, mistaken for a scarecrow turned to ash. His name was all they could salvage. Leila Alcorn, 16, walked into the oncoming winter metal of a tractor trailer, fettered to her biblical upbringings alone. She wrote, "My death needs to mean something." Yasmin Chancez, 31, lit on fire, left to die behind a dead-end dumpster, her dignity scraped from concrete, a fallen soldier in a war no one knows they're fighting until it's too late. The world doesn't know how dangerous it is to be us. Coming out of the closet shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't result in a car crash, a twisted metal face. I've seen too many kids crash into the fists of their loved ones, hung lifeless in the fields they ran through as children. Mothers reject their babies. Dirty, unwanted. CNN strips stories from lifeless bodies to let the world see their sins. It's true. We may never love the way this world wants us to, but we are not the definition you have written all over us. We are not lisp and girly clothes. We are not weak wrists and show tunes. Will the world only know our names when we are killed for this poem? Florida, Wyoming, can you smell their flesh burning? New York, do you look down in the waters and still see his face? Ohio, social media sucked up her story like a cyclone and dropped it just as quickly. Every day, we face a silent war. Tiny victories in big courtrooms make us forget how badly we're really losing it. In 2016, 49 were gunned down. How many will go with the rest of this year? Tyler Clementi, Matthew Shepard, Leila Alcorn, Yasmin Chancez, I have not forgotten you. Our orientation is not our gender. Our ability to love does not change who we are. They will call us the kids who came out wrong, scarecrows, nameless until death. They will know our names. We will wear them with pride. My name is Mason, 17, chin up, walking through the ash. I am still surviving. I will not die for this poem. I am still here to remember all your names.